Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Very good. Thank you for being here. Welcome to this English class. Today, the idea or the objective for today is learn vocabulary and some differences that we have in British English and American English. Let's start with the lesson that I have prepared for you. So, the question that I have for you is, do you say cookies or biscuits? Remember that cookies and biscuits is the same thing. One of them is a word that is common and is used in American English, and another, biscuits in this case, is a word that is common or is more used in British English. So let's learn more vocabulary like this and other important differences. Here we go. Here, for example, we will start with dates. When I say dates, I mean when we mention the month, October, November, January, April, December, plus the number. First, second, third, 22nd, etc. This is what I mean when I say dates. In American English, we first say the month, the day, later the day, and later the year. For example, June 21st, 1995. June is the month. Later we mention the day, 21st, 14th, 15th, 22nd, etc. And later we mention the year, 1995. Check that the British way to say the dates is very different. We have first the day, later we mention the month, and later we mention the year. So this is the way we write it. Yeah, this is the way we write the date. Something important to know is that the pronunciation or the way we read this date in British English is very different, because here we say the 21st of June 1995. Let's do it again. The 21st of June. Let's practice with a different date. For example, today is 25th. Yes? So let's say the 25th of September, the 8th of April, etc. So this is the way we read dates in British English. We include the, let me show you. Let me show you here. We have example in written, the way we write. Yes, the way we write the day, later the month. 7th April. American English is first the month, April, and later the day, 7th, 22nd, 21st, etc. The way we say that when we are speaking when we are in a conversation, the way we say or we read it is this. The, we include the article the plus the ordinal number. Something important to know is that when we say dates, we use ordinal numbers. For example, the ones that finish with th. Second, first, fourth, seventh, and the pronunciation for these ordinal numbers is very important. 22nd, not 22, or 23rd, not 23, okay? So here we say the ordinal number, later of, and we mention the month. Easy. It is very easy. So let's practice. The 7th of October, sorry, of April. The 7th of April. And if you are going to write just the numbers, we sometimes write just the numbers when we are, for example, in class, okay? So we write that this way. Well, so let me know, is this clear? So you can say, the 2nd of October, I have an appointment the 2nd of October. Or I have an appointment on October 2nd. I will visit the doctor, or let's say, I will visit my parents on the 3rd of November. I will visit my parents on November 3rd. So here we will continue learning all the differences we have in these two, British and American English. The other difference that we will see here is in vocabulary. So, for example, we have this picture. And how do you say that in American English? It is sneakers. Sneakers. In British English, they usually say trainers. Trainers. Let's see an example here using the word sneakers or the words sneakers or trainers. For example, I bought new sneakers for the gym. We can say also a pair of new sneakers. I bought a pair of new sneakers for the gym. Or a pair of new trainers for the gym. Our sentence here is in simple past. Bought is the past of the verb buy. Let's continue with a different word. The next word is this. The American way to say this is elevator. Elevator. And the British way to say that is lift. The example in context that I have for you is this. Let's take the elevator to the 10th floor. Let's take the elevator to the 10th floor. We can also say lift. Let's take the lift to the 10th floor. Another word that is also that is different is this. This is called French fries in American English. In the USA, they usually say French fries. And in the UK, they usually say chips. Chips. An example in context is this. I ordered a burger with French fries. I ordered a burger with French fries. I ordered a burger with chips. Well, let's continue here. Line is the American way to say that, and in the UK, they prefer to say few. Few. Line, few. The example for this is we waited in a long line at the bank. We waited in a long line at the bank. Or in a long queue at the bank. Queue or line. Let's continue now with a different word. It is, in American English, candies. In the USA, they usually say candies. And in the UK, they say sweets. Sweets. Candies, sweets. For example, the kids shared some candies after school. The kids shared some candies or some sweets after school. Here we have another word. It is, what do you say? Cinema, movies. Movies is the most common way in the USA. Cinema is another way to say that. But I think that in the USA, cinema is also common. So yeah, these are the two ways to say this, the movie or cinema. And this was in an example. Let's see. We went to the movies last night. We went to the movies last night. We went to cinema last night. Let's continue with another word. The next word is this to describe this common sport. Soccer and football. Soccer, football. Let's see an example. My brother plays soccer every weekend. My brother plays football every weekend. Flashlight and torch. Did you know this? Torch. Flashlight. Torch. An example with these two words. She used a flashlight during the power outage. She used a torch during the power outage. Right? So let's proceed with this other word. How can we call that? The green piece of clothing that woman is wearing is called pants or trousers. Pants, trousers. In an example, it would be he bought new pants for work, or he bought a pair of new pants for work. He bought a pair of new trousers for work. Let's continue. How do you call this? This is closet, wardrobe, wardrobe. Example, my clothes are in the closet next to the bed. My clothes are in the wardrobe next to the bed. Trash can, and dustbin. Trash can, dustbin, dustbin, trash can. For example, please put the paper in the trash can. Please put the paper in the dustbin. The next word is this: sweater or jumper. Sweater, sweater, jumper. For example, she wore a red sweater because it was cold. She wore a red jumper because it was cold. Let's learn some more. This is apartment, and the other word is flat. For example, we live in a small apartment downtown, or we live in a small flat downtown. For those who have a car, you can say gas station, or petrol station. Gas station, petrol station. For example, we stopped a we stopped at a gas station to fill the car. You can say to fill the car or to fill up the car, or to fill the car with gas, with gasoline, with petrol. In British English, they say petrol. In the USA, they say more gas or gasoline. This is eggplant, and the other way to say that is aubergine. Eggplant, aubergine. For example, I don't like eggplant in my pasta, or I don't like eating eggplants. I don't like aubergines. I don't like eating aubergines. And I guess we will finish soon. So this is called in the USA eraser. Eraser. And in the UK, they prefer, or they usually say rubber. Rubber eraser. For example, use an eraser to fix your mistake. You're writing down your notes and you make a mistake. So you take the eraser to erase. The object is eraser and the verb is erase. Use an eraser to fix your mistake. Use a rubber to fix your mistake. The next word that we have here is this: vacation. Careful with the pronunciation for this. Some of my students say vacation. It is vacation. Vacation. And in the UK, they prefer to say holiday. Holiday. Vacation, vacation and holiday in an example. We're planning a vacation to Florida, or we are planning a holiday to Florida. Let's continue. Well, we have already finished with all the words that I had prepared for you. Let's do a short quiz about the vocabulary. So here, what is the American way to say this? Piece of clothing. Think about it. If you set in your mind sweater, very well, sweater. The other is jumper. What is the British way to say this? If you're thinking about flashlight, it is torch. Flashlight is more common in the USA. So torch, torch. What is the British way to say this word? The pronunciation for this is biscuit, biscuit, biscuit. The American way to say that, or in the USA, they say cookies, cookies. And let's finish with sneakers. American way, sneakers. And the British, do you remember the British? Or the common way in the UK? Trainers, trainers. All right, what about this? The American way to say this is line, line. If you had this word in your mind, good job. And the British way to say this is Q, Q, Q. And this is the last point or the last exercise of this quiz. Thank you very much for being here. So, bye. See you later.